So there you have it, folks. Another bout in the books. All of these bouts are being contested in the 64-kilogram weight class for now. That will change in a short while. We'll move to the men's light heavyweight, the 81-kilogram weight class. But now we see Qing from China, 25 years old, making his way to the ring. His opponent will be from India, Manoj Kumar, also 25 years old. AIBA World Championships, European Championships, Commonwealth Games. Both of these boxers, decorated amateur careers. Mariusz Gorny from Poland will be the third man in the ring for this bout. Jumanazov, Malshiev, Tadic, Kennedy, and Martinez, the judges representing the globe, as are the boxers and the organization of AIBA, the Amateur International Boxing Organization, in conjunction with the Azerbaijani Boxing Federation, doing a wonderful job in this tournament. This is not an easy tournament to put together, folks. Lots of boxers, as we've said, over 650 from over 125 countries, brought together over the course of 2 weeks for a tremendous tournament at the world-class level. And kudos go out to all those involved in making this tournament go off without a hitch, as it has so far, and expected to continue that way straight through to the finals in just a few nights. The referee is going to check the gloves of both boxers. Qing from China, 2007 AIBA World Championships in Chicago. He was an Olympian in 2008 in Beijing. Came in 6th place. He lost to Dao Dasau from France, who won the AIBA World Cup silver in 08. 2010 Asian Games silver, and the 2011 Asian Championships just earlier this year in Incheon, Korea, he took 7th place. Kumar, also no stranger to international competition. He was in Milan in 2009. He lost to Mike Carvalho from Brazil. He's also the 2010 bronze medalist at the Indian National Championships, the 2010 gold medalist at the Commonwealth Games in New Delhi. So as we see the action here, both boxers game and ready. Qing in the red corner, Kumar in the blue corner. Kumar pushing forward. Qing 171 centimeters has a little advantage over Kumar at 164 centimeters. You can see that height advantage in the ring as Kumar lunges forward, gets Qing up on the ropes, looks to the referee, and now Kumar has him turned. And there's a lot of clinching going on here. A little wrestling, some shoving, and there's a nice right-left combination. Qing boxing in the southpaw stance. Kumar in the orthodox style throws a looping right hand, does Kumar. Misses by a mile. And again, they lock up. Seems like these styles are going to call for a number of clinches and breaks here, as you could see the height advantage. And sometimes that happens, folks, when two styles, you know, they say in boxing styles make fights. Well, that's sure enough. But it doesn't always make for an interesting fight or an exciting fight or a clean fight. Sometimes it makes for a bout with more clinching and more breaks, and you see that happening right here. Much of this first round has been in the clinch. And that doesn't mean it can't be an exciting fight in the clinch. As you can see here, another result of the two styles clashing. Contrasting styles, to say the least. And now you see Qing a little slicker as he tries to evade some of those wild punches by Kumar. But again, they lock up. Qing will be well served to use his jab and to keep Kumar off him. You know, Kumar's probably going to grab an advantage, or at least have an opportunity to grab an advantage in the clinch, because he's the shorter boxer with the shorter arms. He'll be able to use that to his advantage by throwing punches both in the clinch and coming out of the clinch, if he could get away with it. King, on the other hand, is going to have a tough time being effective in the clinch because those long arms are just going to really take away his advantage of extending his punches and catching his opponent at that full extension point. The referee is going to issue another caution. A looping lead right hook by King. And now a wide left hook by Kumar, which misses its mark. And Kumar is following King around the ring. That clearly seems to be the theme for this bout. Kumar pressing the action, King trying to circle away. And that's the end of round one here in Baku, Azerbaijan. 16th AIBA World Championships. Look at a replay from round one as Kumar pushes forward and King tries to avoid that bull rush. And there's a little rough housing in the center of the ring as Kumar throws King down to the canvas. Kumar getting some advice from his corner as is King, and you can see the score 6-3. King takes the lead. Chinese boxer over the Indian boxer by 3 points. Both of these gentlemen are 25 years old. And as the referee is going to check with the judges on all sides, he's going to actually have Kumar's corner remove some of the Vaseline, most likely, that was applied. It is legal to put Vaseline on the nose or the brow, the forehead of the boxer to keep some sweat away, to help minimize the abrasion of the leather and the punches that land, but not too much. And the referee in that instance had Kumar's corner remove some. And again, they lock up here. King wise to throw a punch off the clinch. If Kumar's strategy is to keep crowding him, and if King is unable to avoid that, then why not throw punches if the ref will allow it in the clinch? Again, some rough housing sends King to the ring, to the apron rather. A wide left hook by Kumar falls short, and there's a sneaky left hand to the body by King. And now you're seeing some good footwork by King. He's really starting to step up his footwork, which is nice. The Chinese boxers are well coached, as are most of the boxers, if not all of them. The Chinese team has a long reputation of really being stylists, both defensive and offensive in the ring. You can see some of that coming out now, a little confidence by King here in round number 2. And there's a lunging right hand by Kumar. Kumar looking like he's getting a little frustrated, can't quite figure out a way to get inside those long arms. He's getting inside, but not effectively. He's not putting himself in a position to throw and land clean punches, and if he is, he's not throwing and landing them. There are a number of ways to box in and out of that clinch, and while Kumar is doing a good enough job getting in close, he's not really doing much when he gets there. Instead, he's just tying up King, which isn't scoring him any points. And in this instance, looks like the referee is going to issue a warning to King, which is going to result in 2 points to Kumar at the end of the round. And that's not good for King because he was only up about 3, as we said. I believe it was 3 going into this round. Yep, it was a 6-3 round going in. He just gave 2 of those points back to Kumar. So now, King going to need to be on his best behavior and not give up any more of those points, those well-earned points, those well-needed points. We've seen bouts in this tournament already where a boxer who was otherwise winning by 1 gets a warning, gives 2 to his opponent in the final round, and ends up losing the bout by 1, with those 2 points being both illustrative and painful. In that instance, the cause of the defeat. Let's hope that that doesn't happen to King here. And now, left hand by King. Chopping left hook by Kumar, and King continues to retreat as Kumar continues to press the action. Right hand by Kumar. And now, once again, for the 3rd time in this bout, King hits the canvas as a result of a either push or a wrestling type tactic by Kumar. Long right hook by King. And here comes Kumar again, pressing the action, a right hand to the body, and is wise to lean back and avoid what may have been coming his way by way of counterpunching Qing. See how with Qing being so close, his punches are actually sailing over and almost falling behind the head of Kumar, and that's because he's just too close. He cannot be effective, or at least score effectively, when he's in so close. I mean, he can, but it's not going to be easy. That's the hard way to do it. He's better off using that long jab and boxing on the outside and not letting Kumar continue to bull rush him as he's done throughout much of this bout. And look at that, 7-7. So Manoj Kumar likely would have been losing that one 7-5, which would have been a surefire way for Qing to hold on to that strong lead he had going into round 2. However, due to that warning, he gave 2 up, and it's a tie score in round 2, keeping this a tight bout. It's now 13-10, Qing over Kumar. And Kumar is going to need to figure out a way to get those 3 points plus in this final round. Nice quick footwork by Qing, and again down goes Qing. Results of some perhaps roughhousing, although in that instance it didn't look like Kumar had much to do. Perhaps he was leaning down on Qing, and Qing chose to take sanctuary on a knee. And there's a left hand by Kumar as he finds a way in, and that one may have scored with the judges, and the referee going to issue a caution to Qing, and here comes Kumar again on the aggressive. Qing looks like Kumar looks like his confidence is starting to build a little here. Perhaps that high score in round 2 gave him the confidence that he was still in this bout, and it was his for the taking. And it is his for the taking if he could figure out a way to take it. So far, Qing has been able to keep those bull rushes at bay, minimize the bull rushes by Kumar through effective footwork and effective clinch work, as you could see there. See how Qing does a decent job of punching up the clinch, but then again, down goes Qing. This is becoming a recurring theme throughout this bout, and another warning, it seems. So this could end up being the death bell for Hu Qing as this bout is concerned, as he continues to give up 2 points to his opponent. That would conceivably make it a 1-point bout had there been no other points scored going into this 3rd round, the first half of it. And of the utmost importance for Qing to avoid that from happening again, or he could find himself in a quite precarious predicament, losing this bout due to warnings. The referee going to issue a caution there to Qing to not turn his back to his opponent. And now Qing is going to raise his hand, and looks like he's going to ask for some relief by the referee in that instance to lift up his trunks, which he did so dutifully. And there's a left hand by Qing. Now he's going to try and perhaps stay away and push his weight onto Kumar. And now the referee is going to send Kumar to his neutral corner. Is he going to give another warning? He is. Another warning. So the referee is not standing for any of this clinching tactic that Qing has been employing, if you could call it employment by will. Perhaps it looks more like an indentured servitude, as it's seemingly Kumar, the shorter boxer, that's creating the clinching. However, a big left hand by Kumar. And now the Chinese boxer starts to retreat a little bit. And they lock horns again here, and the referee, now Qing has to be very careful. Clearly he's got an intolerant referee that doesn't want to see any of this clinching and pushing in the clinch and pushing on the break, and he's already lost a number of points, or rather given up points to his opponent. He cannot afford to give up any more. He needs to stay away from the bull rush. He needs to use that jab effectively. He needs to rack up a few more points in the waning moments of this round if Qing wants to get a shot at the 2012 Olympics in London vis-a-vis this tournament, the 16th World Championships of AIBA. And down goes Qing once again. Could start to count the amount of times he's gone down now on two hands. All from the result of roughhousing and clinches, none from the result of clean punching. And you see Kumar seems quite excited here, feels he may have done enough to come away with the victory, and it should be very close, particularly because of the warnings. Again, it was a close round after two close rounds by points in 1 and 2. We shall see right now which of these youngsters will move on to the next round of this tournament. So the referee has both boxers. Only one's arm will get lifted. Kumar congratulating himself in advance of the decision. He thinks he's got it. He's got the smile on his face. And he gets it, the winner by 2 points. So there you have it, a perfect example of how a boxer could lose on warnings. He had multiple warnings in this bout, and Kumar seems to have escaped a narrow potential defeat on the points. However, he comes away with that one, and he earns himself a spot in the 2012 Olympics. Congratulations to Manoj Kumar, and Qing has probably learned a valuable lesson.